Drift HD170. I got this 6 months ago or so. I've used it fairly extensively. You can see I got a few cuts and dings in it from it hitting the ground because my RAM mounts weren't tight enough, which is a totally different issue. One of the things you'll notice if you look carefully is a little area for your tripod mount actually is pulled out in this a little bit. So this really isn't hard mounted anything, it's just in the rubber. So if you use a RAM mount that's not flush all the way up to the thread, it will pull the mount out. Second thing that really bothered me is I really wanted to have very long recordings, either with time lapse or running video or something of that nature. So that necessitated having, line in. There's nice enough that it's got a USB port here, and they had an adapter. Now the problem with the way the software in this camera works is anytime you apply voltage to the USB, it immediately thinks it's connected to a computer and it stops doing whatever it was doing. So if you're recording, it stops recording. If you're doing time-lapse, it stops doing time-lapse. Typically speaking, that would not be an issue, but if you plug it into something that does not have pure power, for instance a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, and you click over the starter or something happens and you get some noise on the line, the voltage changes here enough and it goes, oh my god, I've been plugged into a computer, and stops recording. So I had to fix a device to filter the power supply so that this would stop thinking that, oh, I'm getting plugged in and unplugged and plugged in and unplugged. That really is a bad design from the beginning. If I want to do a long time lapse and I started it without the power and then I want to change power or something happens, I don't want this to stop recording. If it's in the record mode and you put power on it, it should stay in the record mode and forget that it's got USB, and then when you hit the thing to stop, then it should go to the USB mode. My third gripe with this is the battery system. It's probably hard to tell, but when you press the battery in on this, it does not lock, and see it pops right out. Now the problem is it doesn't pop out far enough, so it makes it really hard to get the battery out. In fact, I cannot get it out with my fingers because it's still stuck in enough. It's not caught with a little catch over here, but you cannot pull the battery out to replace it, so it's practically worthless. I mean, maybe if I bang it on the counter, yeah, it's still not out enough. So it has to be the absolute last straw in my hatred of this camera, is the fact that all of a sudden, for no apparent reason, it decides the memory card is full and then it will stop writing. And when it does this memory card full thing, it doesn't write the end of the file. And then basically if you try and watch the video on anything, it does not render. So you have to use a video repair software, which there's no free version of that right now that I can find. So basically you get some of the video back in the trial mode as some of the software. I'm sorry, that's just, it's not, logical. It's obviously it's not running out of memory. I mean, I have a 32 gig card and thing. It's a class 10 card. Give me a break. There's no problem. It's just dying for some reason. If you go look on the website, the Drift HD170 that's not the stealth version, not the blacked out version, they've got a fix that fixes this memory card full issue. They don't have one for the Drift H170 Stealth, which is the 2.0 model. What really annoys me is I have used the contact us form on Drift for every single error that this thing has given me, and I have got nothing back from Drift. They haven't said, we're looking into it, or we're sorry for your problems, or whatever. I've gotten nothing. Just the automated, we'll contact you back later, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, no support, no whatever. So, really, if you're thinking about getting into using a camera like this, until they fix it, maybe the HD, the new one, the one that's like that long, maybe that one's better, I don't know. All I can say is a Stealth is a POS. So we're going to break it open and see what's on the inside. So I've removed the 8 screws, and pretty much as soon as I did, the battery actually has popped out to a position that I can remove it. So the entire optics are on this piece, and you can see how they achieve the rotation. Wonder how many rotations this can survive before a wire fails, by the way. Gasket seems to be pretty much integral. It's one piece into this back piece. With the battery tray removed. And there's the other side of the guts. And there's the magic. Pretty nice little sensor. And the itty bitty little lens. It's actually got some anti-glare, which is actually pretty nice to see. Yeah, so there's the front plastic. It's got a rubberized deal, kind of comes through for the buttons. Pretty straightforward. That's actually more flexible than I thought it was going to be. That's where the speaker comes through. And I'm pretty sure you can see the stress mark around the post for the tripod mount. And that's really sad to see. It doesn't look like it's being held on by that much. So that's what a drift looks like, and until they fix the problems, I probably won't buy another one. So this is just my opinion based on my use of the camera. It is possible that your use may vary and you may get better results than I did. It's kind of hard to say. All I can say is for my needs, this camera just did not live up. Again, I needed a camera that could withstand some rough and tumble abuse. Basically, being on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, it's not an easy thing to do. I'll be the first to admit that, you know, it's a pretty rough motorcycle as far as vibrations go. And of course, the whole jarring of being attached to a motorcycle, even if it wasn't a Harley-Davidson. You know, using this down to 19 degrees, 17 degrees Fahrenheit does not bode extremely well either. But it shows the same outdoor sports that some of the other competitors show. So I don't see why it would be any different. Why I can't use this down to a reasonable temperature of maybe 0 degrees or so. And again, I'll say the battery issue that I showed, that's been there since the beginning. The power issue, that's been there since the beginning. This issue with the memory card and writing to it, and believe me, I've tried. I have 3 identical SD Class 10 cards that I've been using on this, and all 3 are the exact same. I mean, the only time I should expect to see a video loss, period, would be if the cards were bad. But 3 cards, all 3 cards being bad, I don't buy it. And especially since, again, the version 1 of this, they have a fix out to prevent that from happening. Why they couldn't turn around and do it for 2, I don't know. The last update for this unit's much older than the first generation, which they have 2 updates since. This camera does not cut it for me. I hope whatever camera you choose works for you.